business. I'll be talking about how entrepreneurs, their psychology, their creativity, the kind of attitude, mindset you need to have to run an enterprise. Yes, and we've been very, very, very serious. But today, I think we want to look at something a little bit red. However, my name still remains Charles Fakrogha. So, we also will be looking at, entrepreneurs trying to start a business. It's just like a drama, like some of Shakespeare plays, the stories of entrepreneurs. It's just like, it's like, it's a theater, it's a drama, it's a stage. And entrepreneurs also, come along this stage. When Shakespeare or any other literary work, you see what they say, it's a tragedy, it's a comedy, at the same time, maybe it can be history. So when we say business, somebody is trying to start a company. Yes, you are trying to create and develop a company. The elements of drama is there. Comic, you put some bit of comic. However, these entrepreneurs might not even really know, but there is a bit of comic, there is a bit of happiness, achievement, and a feeling of success, and of course the ends lie the element of tragedy, disappointment, failure, and of course some people can also fail from grass, from grace to grass, and at the end they will say they are the protagonists. But let's start looking at business as a comedy. When entrepreneurs, when they start business, it looks funny, they are trying their best. Comedies like the Midsummer Night. Those of you who have done some bit of literature, Midsummer Night, and of course the Tempest, so many dramas like that. It will contain some unexpected ending, surprising, and the unplanned, some of the plots. So the essence of that literary work is to carry the readers along so that you don't just stop. You want to see the end of it. That is how business is. So at the end of the day, it's a comedy. People will laugh. The entrepreneur is now successful. Let's look at some of these examples. If you look at how Zenith Bank started, for me it's a bit of comedy, unexpected, unplanned ending. Yes, if you have read his book Arise, O Africa, he said it started as selling second-hand cars, and being a former banker too. He was doing that business, and that was how he got to had the idea of how to start up a financial institution. It just looked like comedy, when it started, but at the end of the day, it became very pleasant. It ended in a happy note. And that's how comedy normally ends. At the end of the comedy, people begin to laugh. So Zenith Bank is an example of a company, that started as a comedy, and today is a successful business. Yes, there are other businesses too. When they come to the stage, when they started, even the promoter will not know how it's going to end. But it is me and you, when we have seen that the business is now successful, everybody is happy, everybody is there smiling. But at the stage when the entrepreneur started this business, he or she does not know how it is going to end. Now, also take a look at Arise. The popular Arise everybody is talking about today, that Arise news television. Yes, if you look at the history of the promoter, the person who started it, you will see that yes, there have been failures at the beginning, but over time it became successful and everybody is smiling today. So the people that you are serving, if you're an entrepreneur, will not want to even see how you started. What they want to see is a product. They want to see your product. They want to see your services. They will not even understand how the business started. So that's why we need to give kudos to entrepreneurs, and we are saying yes, business as a comedy. It's a comedy because at the end of the day, people are smiling despite the humble beginning. There are so many companies that started like that, and today we are smiling with them. I'll give another example. Bua Foods, Bua Cement. You know, these are companies that started with struggling, and at the end of the day, people are seeing them. Oh, it's a brand. It's a leader in that industry. Zenith Bank is one of the leaders in the financial service industry. Bua Cement, Bua Food is a leader in their own sector. But if you look at how they started, you will see a lot of comedy, and it also ended as comedy because everybody is smiling and happy. So you as an entrepreneur, when you start a business today, you want to see whether that your business is a comedy. Just have it at the back of your mind that whatever thing you are going through in terms of your startup, your new business, see it as a comedy, that at the end of that comedy show, everybody is going to go home happy, smiling and laughing. Then your business will have, we stand as we stood. The business is now sustainable. Everybody will now be smiling. So whatever challenges you are going through now, whatever obstacle that you are having now in terms of starting your business, running your business, just see it as part of the comedy. And at the end of the day, everybody is going to smile. Even your audience that have come for that comedy show, they will smile and they will be happy at the end of the day. Then your business will have been sustainable. Your business will have gone through what it needs to go through for it to be a business that other people are looking up to. But it just started as a comedy. And I've given an example. We have the Zenith Banks of this world, the Bua Cement of this world, the Bua Food, Arise New Television, and all that. Yes. The next thing we're going to consider again today, it's business as a tragedy. Business as a tragedy. It's compelling, but for different reason, it's failure. Tragedies lie. Just as you have drama at the end of the day, just like we have in Shakespeare, Romeo and Juliet. The end of that drama, that plot, was a tragedy. Now, let us also now look at some businesses that they started very well. They are doing very well. However, after some time, that businesses became a tragedy. We have seen quite a lot in the banking sector. And the funny part of it, I'll give an example. We traded Spring Bank on a Friday afternoon. On a Monday morning, at the stock exchange, then we were told Spring Bank has collapsed. But in the stock exchange, then our process is T+3. And of course, those trades that were done on Spring Bank need to settle. So those who were selling Spring Bank at Friday before 2:30, those trades will settle probably by there's T+3, transaction day plus 3 days. That is, as at Wednesday close of business. If you have sold Spring Bank, then the money will settle in your account. But those who have bought, it is a tragedy for them. The same also applies to Intercontinental Bank. But of course, we saw what happened. The government intervened, and of course, Intercontinental Bank ceased to exist. Of course, because of that cushion, it became Access Bank. The same also applies to Diamond Bank. These are tragedy. And some other banks that have collapsed in the Nigerian financial sector. So you can see, as an entrepreneur, when your business collapses, it becomes a tragedy. And it also happens in drama, literature, theater. When they say at the end it was a tragedy, that means something tragic happen at the end of that drama, at the end of that ploy. Yeah, it's even coming down to the capital market again. We saw the likes of BGL that was doing so well in that their space. They were doing so well. And all of a sudden, it collapsed. That was a tragedy. So as a business person, as an entrepreneur, you need to reflect on some of these happenings. You need to see yourself, it's a drama and you are the stage. And the most funny part of it is the plots. You don't even know how it's going to end. You know, unlike a stage drama where they are rehearsed severally and all that. But in business, even despite the rehearsals, despite all your planning, your preparation, once the business wants to end as tragedy, you don't have a control. We saw BGL becoming a tragedy at the end of the day. So reflect on some of these things and see how, before you start a business, yes, you might not know the routes that you're going to take, but have that at the back of your mind, that even as a tragedy, that is not the end. Just like drama, with that ends in tragedy. Of course, the stage actors can come back again and put up another drama. But just have that at the back of your mind, that we have had businesses that have ended up as a tragedy. We also have instances of businesses, ending as history. We've seen in our market, as the capital market, we've seen businesses like Dangote Flour. Today is history. Not that it collapsed, but today is history. We've also seen so many businesses that ended up as history. The likes of AP. Today is history, but now we are talking of Adova. So you can see that as a business person, you just see your business generally as a comedy. You relax about it. At the end of the day, everybody is going to laugh. As a tragedy, the business will collapse, and of course, it can be very painful, for some entrepreneurs. Look at those who were involved in, or stakeholders. Because in this case now, it is not only the promoter that is affected. Look at all the stakeholders in that of a BGL issue. The brokers who were there, they ended up, having issues with regulators. Some of the investors there, the shareholders of that company, ended up losing everything. But of course, the customers, who had used them to buy their shares, of course, they were the ones who did not actually lose anything, but they have lost their friends who were managing their portfolio for them. Today, we see BGL is now also history. There are so many other businesses today that are listed on the NGS platform. Before you know what they tell you, they are delisted. They have become history. We've seen the likes of NBC. We've seen the likes of Mobile that became Double One PLC. Of course, they have now become history because they are no longer in the public domain, but they are history. So if you are teaching students or professionals about the history of the capital market, quoted companies, you are talking about Mobile Nigeria PLC, later became Double One PLC, and now it's now a private entity. It's history. So these students need to know about the history of some of these companies. So we are trying to relax today to say, as an entrepreneur, once in a while, step aside and reflect about your business model. Reflect about your business and what are the lessons to be learned from some of these companies. So from day one, ensure that you want to have a sustainable business. That is, you need to begin to start that day one. What is a sustainable business? What is sustainable finance I will use in my business? What happens? There should be a succession plan. If Tomorrow, I can no longer run this business. What plans have I put in place to ensure the business outlive me? Not doing what some persons have called one-man rigs. Key man rigs. Once the main person who started that business is no longer, then the business goes with that person. No. We want to encourage entrepreneurs to begin to look at businesses that can outlive them. Today in the market, we'll talk about the Unilever. Of course, those of us who started earlier in the market, it used to be Lever Brothers. And we were told it was started by two brothers. And I'm sure the two brothers are no longer this earth with us, but we still send them checks wherever they are. So we need businesses that can outlive the promoters so that business can be sustainable. We've heard of the PZ, Patterson Zokonis. They say it's a name of somebody who started that business. The 𝐂𝐨𝐬𝐿, even if you say they have been delisted, but they are still operating. That is, they have become history. So we need entrepreneurs to start businesses with a sustainable outlook. Have a succession plan so that as the business continues to grow, we want to see enterprise that will remain and continue to be relevant in the next 100 years. But the entrepreneurs must be intentional about it. It is not everything me. And one of the strategies we have advised is, if you are an SME and you do a certain, maybe you're able to do 200 million in a year, see how you can get advisors to advise you and get to be listed on the NGS platform, maybe through the growth board. And from there, you can continue improving, expand. Then you can come to the main board, And of course, those of you who are already on the growth board or even on the main board, have a succession plan. Have a plan that as long as you run this business, the next MD already knows and is being groomed and developed for that function. That is when we'll have businesses sustain in our economy. And of course, with that sustainability in these businesses, then we're already talking of economic growth. But at the end of the day, we also know that we are taking the environment into consideration, and of course, our people. Because for you to have a business to sustain you, you must be thinking of the triple bottom line. Not only one bottom line, that is profit. You must also look at people and of course, planet. So seeing your business as a comedy, as a tragedy, and as history will go a long way, because the less